Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light to what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran. I'm sorry. And the rockets ran glad, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
President Marti, I have the honor to report that there are now present members of the graduating class, the staff, and the faculty of Queensborough Community College of the City University of New York, the governing bodies of the City of New York and the State of New York, all gathered to participate in these, the 43rd commencement exercises of Queensborough Community College of the City University of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 43rd commencement exercises of the Queensborough Community College of the City University of New York. Please remain standing for the national anthem, which was just completed. We can take it again. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of Queensborough Community College of the City University of New York, Dr. Eduardo J. Marti.
You may be seated. And thank you for participating in this great experiment of our first graduation on the track. So excuse us if we have a little bump along the road. But the most important thing is that we're celebrating your commencement into the fraternity and sorority of learned individuals. And I, on behalf of the faculty, on behalf of the staff of this college, I congratulate each and every one of you. There are many, many stories on this audience, and I really believe that today is a glorious day for all of you. I think you all know that Queensborough Community College has the reputation among the community colleges of the City University of New York of being one of the premier colleges, right? And I think it is a wonderful testimony to the fact that we are held in such good esteem by the university that Vice Chancellor Jay Hershenson was able to give me a little gift last week. He gave me a phone call and said, guess what? The governor is coming. Now, as you can imagine, the governor has a lot of other engagements on these days. There are many commencements and there are many occasions. Now, he's promised me that he's going to give us his full attention for the time that is here, and I know that he will do that. He is a good man, a great man, a person who really wants to come and welcome you. So it gives me a great pleasure to introduce to you the governor of the state of New York, George E. Pataki.
Thank you, President Marti. Thank you for that kind introduction, and thank you all for that warm welcome. And let me first congratulate the leadership of our great city university in Queensborough, and all the faculty and staff. Thank you for the great job you do. You deserve a round of applause. And to my colleagues in government, Senator Padovan, Councilman Weprin, and Congressman Weiner, thank you for being with us this morning. But there's one group I want to acknowledge even more than our graduates. It's a great accomplishment what you have achieved today, our graduates. But you don't do it alone. You do it because of the support and the love and the help of a family. So if we could, for a moment, have all the parents, all the grandparents, all the brothers, all the sisters, please rise. Let's give your parents a round of applause for what they have done. Congratulations to all of you. And before I begin, I'd like to add my best wishes and congratulations to Harriet Kupferberg. Harriet, God bless you. Your wisdom and dedication and passion, especially helping this college with the Holocaust Resource Center and helping the students here at Queensborough for decades. In fact, for longer than some of the graduates have been alive, is an incredible achievement. And congratulations to you. You are deserving of the honor you are about to receive this morning. God bless you, Harriet. It's truly a pleasure to be here with you this morning, but the task I've been assigned is a challenge. It won't be easy to meet the expectations you have here at Queensborough. But President Marti, I promise to do my best to cap off the experience your graduates have had at this great institution. And I thank you again for the opportunity to address this outstanding class of 2004. I have now been to college commencements in 3 distinct roles: as a graduate, as a parent, and as a commencement speaker. I remember the sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, the thrill of victory that I felt at my own graduation, and that I know all of the graduates feel here today. I remember the pride my wife Libby and I felt watching our daughter receive her college degree. But I'll be honest, I do not remember a single word my college commencement speaker spoke to my class on that day. Thinking maybe I was just distracted, I took a poll of the people who worked with me. Most of them not only could not remember anything their commencement speaker said, they couldn't remember who their commencement speaker even was. Few could remember what they talked about, and all of them agreed on the most important thing at a commencement, and that is to be brief. So let me assure you, I understand my role here this morning is very limited compared to that of yours, the graduates. Understanding this, I will be brief. It's said the shortest commencement address on record, and probably because of that the most well-received, was one delivered by Winston Churchill during World War II. He had little time to devote to ceremonies, but still hoping to say something memorable to the graduates of his prep school, Churchill came to the podium and he said, "Never give up. Never, never, never give up. Never, never, never give up." And with that, he sat down. The fact you are here today receiving your degrees from this fine institution of higher learning is a sure sign that you are not quitters. You are men and women of intelligence and ambition who've set goals and in most cases made sacrifice in order to achieve those goals. And so the advice, never give up, might seem a little impertinent and inappropriate this morning. It's not. Because for today, today is for you the beginning of something as much as it is the ending. That's why some sage years ago decided these ceremonies should be called commencement ceremonies rather than cessation exercises. For some of you, you are leaving here with your degree to embark on your first real job. Some of you have already established career paths and have studied to update your skills. Others have come here to retrain in a new field to change careers. Whatever the case today, you can add to your resume a degree from Queensborough Community College. It's great to have it, even essential to have it. And the knowledge and skills you've acquired here will certainly serve you well in your advancement. But understand, there will be days ahead where you will need more than credentials to succeed. There will be tough days, tiring days, heartbreaking days. There always are, in every working environment, in every relationship, in every family. There always have been. There always will be. And on those tough days, when the challenges mount up and charge at us, it's natural to try to get out of harm's way, to be tempted to choose the path of least resistance, tempted to settle for less, tempted to give up. But what will get you through the tough times is your ability to see the possible and the impossible, to choose the right thing over the easy thing, and to meet resistance with resolve. Never give up. It's what built this country. It's what saw us through our darkest hour, and it's what will lead us to a better tomorrow. Never give up. It's always good advice. When you think back on it, our own American Revolution was fought and won by those who refused to be intimidated by the seeming impossible. A band of insurgents, not grand statues of marble, but human beings, living, breathing men and women, with nothing but a belief in the people and a belief in freedom, took on the world's largest empire with the world's greatest professional army, and as they wrote in the Declaration of Independence, put their faith and placed their lives and their sacred honor in the fight for for the belief that all men are created with a certain set of inalienable rights. With no supplies, no allies, no military, no government. They fought for an abstract ideal. And they did so knowing that virtually everyone thought their ambition was absurd, that they would likely be remembered by history as treasonous fools. They did so knowing that if they failed, they would have been tried as traitors, their destiny more likely death than liberty. But they did so because in their darkest hours, they understood the overriding human desire for freedom and were willing to sacrifice everything to achieve that freedom. In their darkest hours, they refused to give up. And while we weren't able to witness the courage and camaraderie of the American Revolution, we have seen with our own eyes sights that we never dreamed we would see, sights no one should ever have to see. It's a sad memory for a joyous day like this, but it's impossible to reflect on the lessons of courage and the future of freedom without recalling the tragedy and bravery of September 11th, 2001. Perhaps, like some of me, you lost a close friend on that day. Thousands of families lost loved ones. The young lost some measure of innocence, and we all lost a sense of invulnerability. But we must also remember what we found. We found heroes who, instead of running away, ran into burning buildings to rescue others. A short while ago, I dedicated our state's Ems Memorial in Albany, which pays tribute to 25 very brave men and women who gave their lives to save others. 9 died on September 11th. And one of those 9 was a Queensborough graduate, David Mark Sullins, a paramedic who colleagues say made at least 3 trips to local hospitals with the injured he pulled from the burning buildings. And yet he went back to do it again. And he lost his life when the building collapsed. David Sullins never gave up that day. He saved many lives. He died a hero and an inspiration not just to Queensborough, but to all of us. We saw people that day lined up for miles, not to flee and get out of New York, but to give blood and food and aid to others. We watched thousands labor at the scene night and day without rest, digging and hoping, never giving up. And we saw millions of people literally looking for some way to help. In an outpouring of help that was so great, we finally had to tell them to stop because their generosity and kindness was overwhelming our ability to respond. United in sorrow, but also in purpose, people came together, inspired by the example of those firefighters, by those police officers and emergency service workers, who taught us the meaning of courage and of never giving up. And just as in 1776, the lessons of the horrific attacks of September 11th tell us that we must never give up in our fight for freedom, in our willingness to sacrifice for the ideals that we believe in. Now, I don't believe occasions like this are the place where you inflict a political speech and your political views on people when they are a captive audience. This is not the time for political debate. But it is important to reflect on the values that bring us together. September 11th taught us that there are those who hate all of the ideals we believe in: freedom, diversity, tolerance, our ability to worship as we see fit. The idea that in diversity we gain strength and we tap the values and the talents of every race, ethnic group, and religion and add that to the American experience. The idea of religious freedom, that here in this land, Christians and Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, atheists, agnostics, all can live together and together build an American future better than its past. That's what makes us great. And for reasons I don't understand and never truly will, there are those who hate those ideals and hate our country because we represent freedom, diversity, and tolerance. And in hating those ideals, the terrorists would also have to hate Queensborough and the entire city university system, because the same ideals of freedom, diversity, and tolerance dwell at the heart of both Queensborough and our great city university. This college and our city university proudly boast of equality, opportunity, and our diversity and freedom, and we should. At Queensborough, in our nation's most ethnically diverse county, natives of 137 different nations from around the globe come together to learn and study. Over half the graduates today come from countries around the globe, 64 different countries. Some graduates are in their 20s, others in their 50s, benefiting from the amazing range of opportunities offered to men and women, young and not so young, to people of every color, every race, religion, and opinion. This is what New York is about. This is what Queensborough is about. This is what America is about. This is what freedom stands for. And we must have the moral courage to stand up for that freedom and to stand with the globe as we defeat terror wherever it may take us. At the same time, while we recommit our defense of our freedom and defense of tolerance and diversity, we cannot use the war against terror as an excuse to slam the door shut on the immigrants that have made this city and this country the place that they are. New York is home to the Statue of Liberty, a symbol of our freedom and a symbol of our welcoming of people from across the globe. Yes, we must take the war on terror to every corner of the globe, not to take the easy path out, not to ever give up. But at the same time, we have to keep the door of freedom, the door of immigration open for the people of Queensborough, for the people of America, for the people of the world. I promised to be brief, and I don't want to be responsible for delaying all the parties you have planned for today. So let me end with some simple wishes to everyone gathered here. May you always remember the lessons of a proud and courageous band of revolutionaries who risked disgrace and death to turn a fool's errand into the most powerful nation on earth. May we always honor the memory of the brave men and women lost in the war against terror that began in New York City on September 11th, 2001, by being uniters and not dividers, builders, not destroyers, heroes rather than haters. May today's graduates always have the wisdom, the strength, and the resolve to overcome adversity, to seize the tremendous opportunities that lie ahead, and to cherish that most precious of gifts, freedom. Because it's vastly more important that you remember the lessons of freedom than it is for you to remember your commencement speaker's words. Except these. Never give up. Never, never give up. Never, never, never give up. And with that, I'll sit down. Congratulations to the class of 2004. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this fact, but it's a very important one. Governor Georgie Pataki is the first governor of New York State that has addressed a commencement exercise at Queensborough Community College. Thank you. And in recognition of your presence here today, we want to give you the Presidential Medal. This is something that, for me, is the first time that is offered at this college, although other presidents have before me. George Pataki, Governor, New York State. It gives me great pleasure to give you Queensborough Community College certificate. Which reads, whereas the Honorable Georgie Pataki, the 53rd Governor of the State of New York, graces the class of 2004 with his presence on the 43rd commencement exercises at Queensborough Community College, and whereas the Honorable George E. Pataki has been a supporter of public education in New York State, focusing on high quality and accessible higher education to all who seek to realize their dreams, and whereas the Honorable George E. Pataki initiated a comprehensive capital construction program to substantially enhance campus facilities at CUNY in order to provide a modern learning environment, and whereas the Honorable George E. Pataki led the crusade to maintain New York as a great state in increasing state security and in focusing on the fight against terrorism while partnering with the mayor of the city of New York to provide safer streets throughout the city. And therefore, I, Eduardo J. Marti, President of Queensborough Community College, have the great pleasure to bestow to the Honorable George E. Pataki, the highest elected official of this great state of New York, this presidential medal on this 4th day of June in the year 2004.
Thank you. Thank you, President Marti. I wear this medal from Queensborough with great pride. I may be the first governor to address Queensborough at graduation. The others don't know what they missed. And I guarantee you, after my experience, other governors will be back time and again. God bless you, and congratulations. Thank you very much.
One more time, thank you so very much for being here today. But you know, class of 2004, you are attracting all kinds of important people. The governor, as the chief elected official of the state, was your commencement speaker. But we have Congressman Weiner, a representative of the United States Congress, who wants to bring you greetings as well. Congressman Weiner.
Thank you very much. My name is Anthony Weiner. I'm your congressman, and I have no speech. So I just wanted to be here to offer congratulations. Well, don't be too happy about that. There's going to be a lot of talk today about how very lucky you are. You're lucky that God has graced us with this beautiful day. You're extraordinarily lucky that you've got people surrounding you, literally and figuratively, that have made this day a reality. You are lucky that when, in the years to come, someone puts a microphone in your face after you've won a Nobel Prize or an Academy Award or were made CEO of a company, they're going to say, tell us a little bit about someone who was a great influence on your success. You're going to scroll through your mental Rolodex and you're going to realize that one of the incredible professional staff here at Queensborough is going to come to mind. You will learn this as you go on in life. You have been fortunate to be educated by some of the finest minds in America, and you are very lucky to have them as your tutors. But as much as we talk about luck on a day like today, let's face it, this is not about luck. You're not here because of happenstance or good fortune. Many people in this graduating class had to hold a job, some 2 jobs, some 3 jobs just to get through school this year. Some have been raising families at the same time they're getting their education. Some have come from other countries to come here, which in and of itself you deserve an award for. This is not about luck. You're here because of your hard work. You're here because of the support of so many. But there is one thing that you're going to be able to say from this day forward, and it's a combination of luck and it's a combination of hard work. As you go through life and you meet people from the Harvards and the Yales and the Columbias and those other fancy places, when someone asks you where you graduated college, you're going to say, I graduated college in Queens, New York, in the United States of America. And no one looks down on you when you say that. Congratulations, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
And now, representing the state of New York, the Senate of the state of New York, a man who, in his very quiet way, is a pillar of this college. He has very consistently and effectively and significantly provided funding for this institution for a long, long time. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you the Senator of the State of New York, Senator Frank Padovan, also a good friend of our college. Senator.
Thank you, President Marty, and ladies and gentlemen, our distinguished guests, our great honoree, Ms. Kupferberg, and all the graduates and their families. All the important things have already been said. However, there is one thing I would like to share with you. When I first walked on this campus more than a quarter of a century ago, what you see around you did not exist. There were primarily Quonset huts and short buildings, prefabbed and otherwise. That was Queensborough at its very beginning. And we've had some great leaders, Kurt Schmeller, who's here today, Dr. Schmeller, who led this campus for a quarter of a century as well, and built much of what we have. And today we have a great president, Eduardo Marty, who has carried forward that tradition and is building anew, and will continue to build, not only in physical terms, but within the university, within the college, within the community college, in terms of faculty, curriculum, and all those things that make this a great institution. I'm proud to represent the surrounding community. I know many of you live here in Northeastern Queens, and some of you come from further distances to attend this fine college. We congratulate each and every one of you. The governor was quite correct when he said that you didn't get here entirely on your own. You had family, supported you in many, many different ways. And you didn't get through your time here at Queensborough entirely on your own. You had a caring faculty, administrators, who wanted to see you succeed. That is their goal in life, and you have. Congratulations to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Senator. We're also fortunate to have with us today our councilman, the person who represents us in the New York City Council, who also happens to be the chairman of the Fiscal Affairs Committee. Very, very important. And also has been a very, very good friend of our institution for a long, long time. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you our own David Webber.
Thank you, President Marty, Vice Chancellor Hershenson, Trustee Chen, Senator Padovan, and my colleague in the City Council, Council Member Hiram Montserrat, who, by the way, is a graduate of Queensborough. As Governor Pataki said, commencement speakers should be short, as well as other speakers. And it was once told to me that a university president once gave this instructions to a commencement speaker: think of yourself as the body at an Irish wake. He said, they need you in order to have the party, but no one expects you to say very much. I've been very proud to represent this district, and it's actually only my third year, although we've done so much in such a short period of time under the leadership of President Marty. It feels like a lot longer, but I hope to continue to represent this area and college for many years, at least 8. We have term limits in the city. But I've been very proud to sponsor a number of major capital programs right here at Queensborough. We've put in well over $3 million in the last 2 years in capital money from the City of New York to do a new theater, help out in the library, 2 new labs, and hopefully this year we have another project with the Holocaust Center, so I'm looking forward to that. Did you ever wonder why they call graduation commencement? The governor touched a little bit on commencement, but the answer is really pretty obvious. Commencements mean the beginning, and that is what you are all starting today, a new beginning. Graduations are not the end, they are the beginning of the next stages of your lives. You are graduating from a very fine institution today. Queensborough Community College, under the leadership of Dr. Marty, has done an incredible job preparing its students for the future. I am especially proud of today's graduates, as Queensborough Community College as I mentioned, is actually the only college in my district. And it comprises probably one of the most diverse student bodies in the entire country. Today is a new beginning. Whether you choose a path of even higher education, a path that in the end will offer you even greater opportunity, or if you choose a path that brings you into the workforce, today marks the start of that journey. I stand here and congratulate all of you for successfully completing your undergraduate work and attaining an associate's degree. I congratulate your teachers, your families, for helping guide you in achieving this noteworthy goal. You should all be very proud of yourselves, as your families, friends, faculty, and I are with you. I leave you with a simple equation. Attitude times aptitude equals altitude. Simply defined, your determination in life multiplied by your level and success of your education will determine how high the goals you will attain and can be. Good luck and congratulations.
We also have with us, as was mentioned before, an alum of the college who happens to be in the City Council, Councilman Hiram Montserrat. He wants to say hello to you as an alum, as a person who sat on that audience, and wish you well. Hiram?
Thank you, President Marti, and good morning to everyone. This is a great day, isn't it? Graduation day. I want to say that as a graduate from Queensborough Community College, I remember some of the fellow students that graduated with me. Some of them homemakers, some of them holding down full-time jobs like I was. A lot of single moms, people making it happen. And I remember the experiences of being right where you're sitting today, just a few years ago, 1995, not that long ago. And I want to say that what I best remember about Queensborough Community College was the feeling of being together, was the feeling that this school really represents the best of the borough of Queens and the city of New York. And I say that with a lot of conviction. We had all types of religions, creeds, colors, shades, sizes, and that's really what makes this university so great. But today is truly about celebrating what you have accomplished. And the short thing that I will say to you and to the loved ones that are here, the parents, the grandparents, the families, that all have come together today to enjoy this great day, because you have achieved something that is very great. You are now graduates, about to receive your diplomas. I salute you. I look forward to hearing from you all, and I look forward to working with you to make this city even a greater place and to make sure we never forget Queensborough Community College. Thank you and congratulations to all. Thank you.
Both councilmen have to go to a budget meeting where they're going to get us $1.5 million for a Holocaust Resource Center. And now, to bring greetings from the City University of New York, let me introduce to you my boss, Wellington Chen, one of the trustees of the university.
How are you? President Marti, Honorable Senator Frank Padovan, Mrs. Harriet Kuffelberg, Vice Chancellor and Secretary of the Board, Jay Hershenson, honored guests, distinguished members of the faculty, families, friends, and most importantly, you, the graduating class of 2004. It is my great pleasure to be here with you today to bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York. As a trustee, my participation at this 43rd commencement exercise is an extremely pleasant experience, as I have an opportunity to celebrate your success as students. We are honoring some 1,400 students who will be receiving their associate's degree today. So it gives me the opportunity to meet you and who contribute to the greatness of this university. You are the life force that gives meaning and purpose to the mission of this university. There are many in the audience today who are inspiring examples of how to overcome obstacles. Many of you have come from many countries to pursue your dreams. In fact, 60% of the students here at Queensborough are foreign-born, representing many countries from around the world. And also, many of you are the first in your family to earn a college degree, and you should be very proud of their achievement. A good measure of your success at Queensborough Community College is due to the dedicated faculty who have added so much to your learning experience. Without their help and support, some of the obstacles you face from time to time may have seemed insurmountable. I know that for many of you, the path that you chose to earn an associate degree was not an easy one. You began a journey when you entered Queensborough Community College today. You have reached a milestone. Because of your hard work, dedication, and perseverance, you have overcome many challenges to achieve your goal today, and the taste of your achievement is indeed sweet. Be proud of yourselves, celebrate yourself as your college, your president, your professors, your families, your friends celebrate around you. Always remember that learning is a lifelong experience. Learning never ceases. I also want to take this moment to elaborate what some of the speakers said earlier. You are truly participating in a unique, memorable commencement. 60 years to the day, during the dark days of World War II, this is almost 60 years to the D-Day, Normandy invasion. A lot of young men, just like you, 60 years ago, sacrificed their lives so that we can enjoy this moment. And so this is what I want to encourage you to do, that in life sometimes we have to bear tremendous sacrifices so that we can leave a legacy behind, and that other people can have a more meaningful life. So I hope you contribute to this great earth of ours and go out there and do great things. And I thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Chen. I don't know how many of you know what trustees do, but they are volunteers. They give tremendous amount of their time to the welfare of the City University of New York. And I have to tell you that Wellington Chen not only represents the City University of New York, but he represents Queens and us in a wonderful and dedicated manner. So Wellington, on behalf of Queensborough Community College, thank you for your service. And now another alum. We just, we don't have the President of the United States yet, but we're going to get there. Not the President of the United States, but the Vice Chancellor for Communications of the City University of New York, and more importantly, the Secretary of the Board, our own Jay Hershenson.
Good morning. Let's hear it loud and clear on this beautiful sunny day. Good morning. President Eduardo Marti, Trustee Wellington Chen, Senator Frank Padovan, a great friend of Queensborough Community College and the City University of New York, Ms. Kupferberg, faculty, families, distinguished award recipients, and the great Queensborough Community College graduating class of 2004. That's what we're here for. I am deeply honored to bring you greetings from the Chancellor of the City University of New York. Today, you finally put PH 110, History 110, 111, and 112 behind you. Today, you finally put the Q27 bus behind you. Today, you wanted to put the LIE and the Clearview Expressway behind you. Now, as the President indicated, I stand before you as a grateful Queensborough Community College alum. I went on to receive a bachelor's degree and my graduate degree from Queens College. But in 1968, I started taking the number 7 train to the Q27 bus, or the Q66 to the Q27 bus. I stood waiting at Main Street and Roosevelt Avenue. That's right, in the icy cold of the winter,
and the hot, humid days of summer. I studied on that bus. I did my homework on that bus. I even slept on that bus. Today, on the way to your graduation, I drove past that bus. The governor's presence here today sent a powerful message about the transformation of the City University of New York and Queensborough Community College. The remarkable turnaround at CUNY in the past 6 years, higher standards, higher admissions, greater student success, greater student diversity, more full-time faculty, more capital support is now a matter of public record. Together with the exemplary support of the governor and the legislative officials represented here today throughout the state and city, and a brilliant, marvelous college president, Dr. Eduardo Marti, and a distinguished faculty, a degree from Queensborough Community College is now highly valued and widely valued in the marketplace of careers and ideas. Today you begin a new journey, building on your great success as you plan for even greater heights. And when you receive alumni mailings, and you will, keep one principle in mind. There are only two kinds of people: those who cannot remember where they came from, and those who cannot forget. Always remember Queensborough Community College. Congratulations and God bless you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor Hershenson. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Chair of the Faculty Executive Committee, Dr. Sheena Gillespie. But before I do so, I want to tell the audience, because I think the graduates know this, Queensborough Community College has an exceptional faculty. Now every president says that about their faculty. So I'm going to give you some facts. In order to become an assistant professor at this institution, you have to have a PhD. Not an EDD, not a master's, but a PhD. If you don't have a PhD, you have to demonstrate to the central administration, and first to me, of course, that the credentials that you have are sufficient to be able to participate as a member of this faculty. In addition to that, in order for a person to be retained as a faculty member, the peers, the other faculty members, make certain that the quality is there, and in that instance they need to be able to demonstrate the ability to be well known in their discipline or in pedagogy, to be able to be master teachers, and to be able to have a commitment to the institution that we call college service. Those are three criteria that are utilized in order to judge our own faculty by our own faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, the average PhD in a community college in this country, the average faculty has 18% of their faculty holding PhDs in this country. The faculty of Queensborough has 63% of the faculty holding PhDs. We have among us individuals who have been nominated for the Pulitzer Prize. We have among us individuals who are nominated for other awards, and as a matter of fact, your Grand Marshal was named by the Carnegie Mellon Foundation and the Case Society Professor of the Year. There are only 4 individuals named Professor of the Year in the nation. 1 for universities, 1 for master's degree institutions, 1 for baccalaureates, and 1 for community college. And our own Paris Sorbonos was the one named for the nation as a professor. It is an excellent faculty. With that, let me introduce to you the representative of the faculty who is going to bring you greetings on behalf of this wonderful faculty to the candidates for graduation. Dr. Gillespie.
Put yourself in a different room. That's what the mind is for. I know, graduates, that as you have explored the many facets of your complex selves.
Preparing for responsible citizenship in a complicated world, you have entered many different rooms. And on behalf of the faculty, I would like to thank you for providing space for us to learn about your cultures, your traditions, your values. Today, as you leave us, I would ask you to do 4 things. Keep visiting different rooms. Choose a vocation for which you have a passion. Spend your life with someone who's a friend of your mind. And above all, cherish your children. We are privileged to share in your success with your parents, your family, and your friends. Thank you.
And now, representing the student body, I want to introduce an individual who is a fellow Cuban, who is also a product of the immigration that took place in the 60s. Our own Jorge Fanjul.
Good morning, faculty, staff, and honored guests. But I want to especially welcome the 1,200 students and their families that make up Queensborough's graduating class of 2004. It is truly a heartfelt honor as student government president to address you today. When looking for the inspiration for my remarks today, I could only think of one man to evoke, President John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural address of 1961, in what personally I believe to be one of the best speeches given by an American during the 20th century. We all know some parts of it by heart, most notably when President Kennedy calls the American people to action by saying, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." But what many don't know is what he says right after that. He says, "My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of men." Yes, it is 43 years later, and it is certainly a different time, and we are a new and different generation. Nevertheless, the message is not lost. I believe it even takes on a new meaning today. With a population of over 12,000 students, hailing from over 130 different countries, I would proudly answer President Kennedy by saying that we represent those citizens of the world that he was calling on over 4 decades ago. Look around you, graduates. Look to the person to your right and to your left. You'll see that we represent 6 continents and speak over 50 different languages. We are every color and every creed. The diversity seen in Queensborough should serve as a testament to our greater American society, that people of different racial, ethnic, and religious backgrounds can not just simply coexist, but truly live life together. Yet to the graduates today, I still pose President Kennedy's challenge to the citizens of the world. What can we do together? Today, we've already proven that we can graduate, but where do we want to go from here? What new heights will we reach? Whether we're moving on to our chosen profession or an undergraduate degree, remember that we should never stop dreaming. Never stop fighting for what we believe, and always remember our obligations to our fellow citizens of the world by never neglecting one another. We are now the future, and the standards are for us to set. We need not follow the ways of the past, merely learn from them. When anyone tells you that there is no way, then we must make a way. My fellow graduates, today you'll hear many speakers, and everyone will have a special message to impart. For me, if you remember nothing else, just remember, please, one thing. Our time is here, and our destiny is now. Congratulations, class of 2004. It has been a privilege to serve you. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
On the platform, there are many distinguished guests. and we would love for all to speak. However, if that happened, all of you would need more suntan lotion than you have right now. So let me introduce to you the people on the audience, on the dais that are here but will not be speaking. First of all, let me introduce my partner, my confidant, the individual who all of you know has a lot to say about how this college is run, the Chief Operating Officer, Howard Lapidus. Howard. The money lady, Vice President Diane Cole, Vice President of Finance and Administration. Vice President Ellen Hardigan, Vice President for Student Affairs. And a person who did me the great favor of coming out from retirement to help me as Vice President for Academic Affairs, at least for a little while, George Hamada. George used to be president of Rockland Community College, so I'm certain he's sitting there saying, you know, if I was standing at that podium, I would be saying this or that. We have Dean Karen Steele. Dean Kathy Allen. What? The person who led this college for 32 years, President Kurt Schmeller. The recently retired Vice President for Student Affairs, Patricia Evanowski. And representing our fund board. Now, the fund board is a group of friends who help us raise funds for the college and also to manage those funds that are raised. And with us, we have the chairperson of that fund board, Carol Consolado. Mr. Ira Futterman, another alum, now a very successful attorney. Mr. Dominic Brucorelli. And Mrs. Harriet Kopferberg. Now, Mrs. Kopferberg, would you please come to the podium? I had the privilege of meeting this lady during my first year of being president of this institution. Someone told me, go to her house, sit down and talk with her. She's been associated with the college for a long, long time, and she can be a very good friend of yours. Since that time, I think that we have established a personal friendship. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you this, even though my wife is sitting on the audience with a beautiful red hat, or pink hat, I took her to Spain with me, Pat. She and I went to Spain together. And we had a good time. But anyway, she, as a member of the fund board, Mrs. Kupferberg has been always there for the institution. And also as the chairperson of the Holocaust Resource Center fundraising committee, she has been very instrumental in helping me raise funds for this important project of this institution. And let me just simply say that the Holocaust Resource Center is really a center that exemplifies what the ultimate expression of prejudice can do. And we are a very diverse student body. We need to ensure that prejudice is never a word that enters our mind or enters our lips. And I believe very strongly through the through the focus on the Holocaust Resource Center, we can certainly bring a little bit of peace to this world. Mrs. Kupferberg, you have been very generous to this institution. I will not embarrass you by saying how generous you have been. But you have, suffice it to say, that you have been very generous to this college. You have been a leader of this institution. And for that, it gives me great, great pleasure to present you with the Presidential Medal. I just destroyed her coiffure. That's okay. And accompanying the medal, there is a plaque that reads, whereas Harriet Kupferberg has served Queensborough Community College over a 30-year period, providing extraordinary level of service and commitment, and whereas Harriet Kupferberg has served as a member of the Board of Directors of the Queensborough Community College Fund Incorporated, and as president of the Friends of Queensborough Community College, Harriet Kupferberg serves as the current chair of the campaign for the Holocaust Resource Center and Archives, an organization dedicated to ensuring that the lessons learned from the Holocaust in Nazi Germany are taught to the school children of the area and to the community as a whole. And whereas Harriet Kupferberg has served as my confidant, trusted advisor, and more importantly, as a friend embracing the ideals and goals of Queensborough Community College, therefore, the Presidential Medal is bestowed upon Harriet Kupferberg in public recognition for her tireless support of the educational and cultural programs of Queensborough Community College. Signed on this 4th day of June in the year 2004.
You know, Dr. Marty doesn't know the meaning of the word no. When he asked me to serve as the chairman for the Holocaust Resource Center, I thought, that's a big one. I don't think I can do it. But I said no, but he didn't hear me. So I finally said yes. But he's a great inspirer, and the students at this college and their parents are an inspiration. And I hope that they will carry forth all the things they've learned so that it will help them along the way. Thank you.
And now, we're getting there. We want to recognize some of you students who have excelled during this year. It is my pleasure to present the College Award. Will each recipient come forward as I call their name? First, the John F. Kennedy Memorial Award to a student who has demonstrated outstanding college and community leadership, Jorge Van Hoel. The Martin Luther King Jr. Award presented to a student who has demonstrated exceptional leadership in promoting racial harmony and appreciation of cultural diversity, Ms. Bibi Inchan. The Thomas R. Jennings Memorial Award to an outstanding student graduating in the liberal arts and sciences, Ms. Yamit Nasiri. The George Alterman Award, and by the way, George Alterman was the first dean, and he happens to be here in the audience. I didn't recognize him before. George? The George Alterman Award to the graduating student achieving the highest scholastic average in the Associates in Science, Math and Science degree program, Marcella Powell. Colonel John Lacker's Award to the graduating students achieving the highest scholastic average in an Associate's in Applied Science degree program, Gerard Martins. Joseph McMurray Award to the graduating student achieving the second highest scholastic average in the class of 2004, Jessica Dunsmore.
Love you.
And the President's Award, sponsored by the Queensborough Community College Fund Incorporated, and is given to the graduating students achieving the highest scholastic average in the class of 2004, Mr. Gerard Martins.
Hello. This is going to be brief. By now I know that you've heard this many times, but let me say it. Congratulations to all of you. And I really mean that. You've worked hard to sit here today and you should be very proud. A professor once told me that school is the most difficult job you'll ever have. And that really is the truth. It's crucial that we acknowledge the significance of our accomplishments. Of course, we wouldn't be here today without the excellent learning facilitators at Queensborough. There are so many professors that work with a seemingly endless supply of energy and enthusiasm. And for this, we have to be infinitely grateful because the knowledge that they've helped us to achieve is infinite. These professors, these dedicated professors, are too numerous to name, so I give them credit collectively. Aside from professors, on behalf of all graduates, I'd like to thank everyone else who contributed to us being here today. A college student has an extended supporting cast that provides invaluable fuel. So to this group, I also say thank you. Camille, thank you. I'm honored to be able to speak to you, and in contemplating what I should say, I decided to say what I would to a person whom I was talking to for the last time. Be revolutionary. It takes just one person to make changes in the world. People collaborating accelerate the process of change, but only one person is necessary. Be responsible. Work hard and give 100% of your energy. Be conscious. Don't be willfully ignorant. Do talk to strangers because the world is a small place with too much pride. Be democratic. Be generous, especially with your knowledge. Be balanced. Walk the walk. Every day, walk the walk. Set the example. Be a world citizen first and anything else after that. Recycle and conserve. Waste not, want not. Be yourself. Give credit where credit is due. Be self-disciplined. Self-disciplined. Be confident and don't be nervous because embarrassment is inevitable. Be honest with yourself and with the world. Be compassionate. Compassion is contagious. Be independent. Be artistic, creative, inspirational, and innovative. Be happy. Be revolutionary. Thank you for listening, and once again, congratulations.
For the members of the audience, you should know that last week we had an award recognition ceremony that lasted an hour and a half. There are many, many award winners in this audience, and the ones that you have seen right now simply represent but the sampling of all of the winners that we have in this audience. Well, let's give them all a round of applause. And now, will the graduating students please rise while the Grand Marshal administers the Ephebic Oath.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, page 2. Please repeat after me and disregard the accent. We who are about to graduate from Queensborough Community College reaffirm without reserve our allegiance to the United States of America. And in the tradition of the ancient Athenians, take this oath of devotion to our city. We dedicate ourselves to the ideals and sacred values of our free society. We will never bring disgrace upon our community by any act of dishonesty or cowardice. Nor fail to respect our fellow citizens. We will revere and obey the laws under which we live. We will do our utmost to quicken understanding, respect, and reverence for them. And we will strive unceasingly to strengthen the public sense of civic duty. Thus, in all ways, we will seek to transmit the city better and more beautiful than it was transmitted to us. Congratulations.
Vice President Hamada, would you join me?
Will the candidates for the degree of Associate in Arts please rise? The rest of you can remain seated. We'll get to you in a minute. President Marti, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees. I am pleased to present them to you, and I respectfully request that you confer upon them the degree of Associate in Arts.
Upon the recommendation of the Vice President and the faculty of the college, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Associates in Art with all of the rights and privileges, immunities, and honors thereto appertaining. I think that now
Claudia Chavez. Ms. B.B.N. Inshan. Ms. Jessica A. Dunsmore. Ms. Yanit Nasiri. Jacqueline Fuentes. Christian Flores. Lizette Fonseca. Evelyn Chevalier Richards. Allison Jajak. Louisa Alexander. Valerie Jones. Marlene Beeston. Yunji Bian. Lindsay Lachman Singh. Shahanaz Islam. Andre Jeter. Tarek Halit. Althea Butcher. Emmanuel Buzangia. Shamika Bolta. Tawana Gibbs. Maxine Jones. Annie Dela Cruz. Marlene Cruz. Christine Lillevoix. Christopher De Jesus. Jose Lopez.
Woo! Go babe!
Aboseki Adenier. Rotem Bernholtz.
Yeah!
Daniel Armstrong. Viviana Guarin. Kimberly Canafo. Yoli Guadalupe. Candace Gunderman. Kim De Jesus. Arlene Charles. Elizabeth Gottlieb. Joseph Grisafi. Samantha Johnson. Amanda Grasso. Jean Harris. Ali Sadian. Michelle Taranto. Monica Rosario. Wendy Goldman. Diane LaRose. Siobhan Lopez. Tara Salucci. Luis Alicea. Jeffrey Ijaji. Tikwa Banks. Martha De Jesus.
Who says this? Will the candidates for the degree of Associate in Science line up? Thank you. The candidates for the degree of the Associate in Science are assembled. President Marti, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees. I am pleased to present them to you, and I respectfully request that you confer upon them the degree of Associate in Science.
Upon the recommendation of the Vice President and the faculty of the college, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Associate in Science with all the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors thereto appertaining. Congratulations.
Patricia Ale.
They made a mistake. We're not associate in science. No, they are.
Michael Hopkins third.
My name is easy.
Bridget Justin. Catherine Dalcius. Primati Lucknow. Okay. Stacy and Barbaro. Alison Knott. Angela Capesa. Philip Roncoroni. Patricia Raleigh. Catherine O'Hara. Michelle Navarreto. Candice Mahar. Alina Serra. Mark Moulton. Rochelle Pacheco. Dion Presley. Sharda Persaud. Marilyn Norton. Bernette Steele. Jennifer Mitchell. Angel Perez. Alicia Williams. Rosada Masulo. Arlene Mendoza. Anissa Smith. Go girls! Laura Yepes. Michelle Prendergast. Monica Martinez. Angelica Perez. Raymond Schwartz. Jonathan Nova. Fredisha Wharton. Christina Rizzo. Asma Omarzad. Suzanne Ruga. Jean-Marie Roberts. Pasha Miller. Nicole Scotty. Susana Peña. Sophia Simis. Melissa Melissa Uceta. Lakisha Wright. Joanny Peña. Tessa Netayer. Cynthia Ribatenero. Shazia Termizi. Carla Quito. Rabia Naderi. Andrew Mamalo. Brad Reiter. Atenam Maliganos. Richard Wordkowitz. Laura Pryor. Donna Pastula. Billy Patty. Catherine Zenbekis. Alexandra Suarez. Christina Morandi. Eileen McFarlane. Jacqueline Serrano. Marcia Peter. Udo, sorry.
The cards. Anne-Marie. The candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science are assembled. President Marti, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees, and I am pleased to present them to you, and I respectfully request that you confer upon them the degree of Associate in Applied Science.
Upon the recommendation of the Vice President and the faculty of the college, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Associate in Applied Science with all the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors thereto appertaining. Congratulations.
Tommy G. Marcella Powell. Gerard Martins. Angelica Acevedo. Louise Day. Jason Graciano. Nadia Aslam. Punita Joseph. Elizabeth Carpio. Yuri Davidov. Karen Kim. Mohamed Ikram. Akta Jain. Amarjeet Kaur. Rohan Bhutta. Simone Edwards. Stephanie Chung. Mamadou Boubian. Emilio Flores. Erica Jackson. Bibi Ali. Newland Adams. Brian Lewis. Denise Gaviria. Paula Alvarez. Isabel Garcia. Dorothy Barry. Sarah Leibowitz. Christopher Gilliland. Sherman Bell. Dave Fortune. April Cunningham. Osha Cohan. Sergio Bernal. John Killian. Susan Kay. Jacqueline Calderon. Darnell Dixon. Stephanie Jimenez. Miroslava Lopez. Deborah Koch. Cindy Diaz. Dwayne Barnes. Zareen Bosch. Jenny Jimenez. Wen Liu. Anthony Federico. Ching Chan. Mohammed Chowdhury. Darshani Bastio. Pei Wang. Yin Di. Shayu Chen. Sadia Ali. Jada Davey. Sharon Cummings. Lisa Belford. Jeffrey Fonseca. Manuel Franco Jr. Jennifer Escato. Christine Gaines. Vivi. Don Jean Charles. J.K. Lee. Moon Sun Lee.
again.
Anjani Sunat.
Where am I? There. Do it again. Where? He's right there. Oh.
Tegan Thomas. Heather Tooth.
You okay there, Carolyn? I'm going from one.
Natalia Oshala. Ziv Reisman. Fei Fing Zhu. Joanna Roches. Shariva Shak. Georgette McLeod. Avenel Williams. Maybell O'Connor. Eleanor Way. Shafra Smoot. Harry Shigira. Pamanan Sukana. Abad Rivera. Carl O'Brien. Karine Sanat. Sarandi Bumrah. Huma Zakari. Jacqueline Rodriguez. Yadires Rodriguez. Nilda Montes. Carolyn Spence. Karamati Samush. Jamshia Taylor. Veronica Smith. Camidrum Emmanuel. Jun Wang. Revere Wang. Jared Foreman. Jennifer West. Richard Pantano.
Where's my cousin? Yeah.
Jesus Mancia. Lawrence Rodriguez. Evelyn Orland. Keely Pino. Lizette Rapone. Fernando Schwega. Baldo Sakari. Thomas Pataki. Maria Thomas. Luann Zamin. Abiodun Thompson. Evan Silverman. Michael Pierre. Rose Patel. Lambrini Raptor. Sherman Riemann. Rabina Usman. Mercy Roman. Galina Bazola. Shahid Mahbub. Jatanda Kumar. Shulay Robin. Robin.
The candidates for the degree of Associate in Applied Science are assembled. President Marti, these candidates have met all the requirements for their degrees. I am pleased to present them to you, and I respectfully request that you confer upon them the degree of Associate in Applied Science.
Upon the recommendation of the Vice President and the faculty of the college, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Associate in Applied Science with all the rights, privileges, immunities, and honors thereto appertaining. Congratulations.
Donna Green. Nancy Guzman. Raulio Gomez. Cecilia Hoyos. Gustav Grabowski. Winston Douglas. Vilma Lee Farrell. Nisha Corbin. Sylvia Barba. Pierre Ibuki. Sophia Berkner. Mary Louise Beach Malloy. Athena Kukla. Douglas Chang. Marie Bani. Akua Asibi. Shirley B. Lewis. Kaylon Francis. Betty Ann Brewster. Dylan Key Sum. Shane Almeida. John Bruno. Emil Gaskin. Abraham Cedeno. Diane Bisram. Gail Farley Mena. Sandra Bayazan. Yasmini Yanarine. Lynette Anthony. Kadian Anderson. Zamin Dindia. Caroline Dinkin. Heidi Shabak. Brent Bowen. Betty Boyce. Tapsi Pile Colon. Liliana Castro. John Gels. Safiul Alam. Akil Chowdhury. Michael Conlon. Rocco Boniello. Karen Goldborn. Myri Borici. Sissy Villamar.
Diana Yepes. Natasha Wheeler. Christina Cruz. Leandra Gray. Andrew Leachkowski. Carlos Bailey. Eric Britton. Ismail Karadvuzik. Patrick Henry. Paulo Velasquez. Randolph Seeley. Marcus Creedle. George Orozco. Clinton Dunbar. Barrington Brown. Luis Asensio.
Steve Dunn. Murat Ayudinoglu.
Okay, whatever you guys want to switch over.
Yesenia Glimo. Therese Cole.
Yeah.
Santosh Gira. Janea Busey. Alejandro Benavides. Patrick Cruz. George Franco. Jody Ali. Pilar Bao. Blanca Cambi. Juliette Alvarez. Celine Aban. Vasilios Antoniou. Abida Asma. Farhana Begum. Pranajit Karua. Paul Mural. Kitwan Swina Chan. Hang Zhen Chen. Zhang Chen. Hector Cruz. Katrina Brown. Hermine Francis. Lisanne Giscombe. Warren Aljanio. In Hyok Cho. Barty Diwan. Estella Avilar. Roberto Alexandre. Evelina Almonte. Salvinio Alcotas. Jinky Kuntalan. Cedric Creighton. Darnell Daniels. Shakespeare Boca. Cesar Ferran. John Barron. Vincent Battaglia. Ivan Kobodik.
Judy Hukum Chan. Jennifer Kobina. Halima Mohammed. Carrie Ann Hall.
Nicholas Ho, Hans Hofgren, Eric Parkman, Ronald G. Hall, Binmati Mahabir, Miguel Lozada, Julien LeBlanc, Kashana Johnson, Sandy Lipman, Jacqueline Hedge, Fanny Liu, Sonia Rotman, Diana Lopez, Evelyn Irby, Sherry Leidner, Shalini Mando. Oh, I got some too. Hossein Mohammed, Jusheng Luo, Glenda Ledbetter, Janet Mitchell, Kristen Lesser, Maynard Inagan, Ravinder Kaur, Mandeep Kaur, Lubna Mumtaz, Harwinder Kaur, Aramjeet Kaur, Mevish Kira,
that's an awesome shot. You see her, she's looking away.
Stephanie Halsey,
look away like where you was looking before.
Tiffany Halazopoulos,
How many copies you want?
Shanika Howard, Chi Lee, John Horan, Mary Joda, Orlando Mendoza, Madeleine Mora, Virka Frias,
Ray,
Andrea Herrera,
Ray,
Sandra Lattimore,
she got it, don't worry. It's all right.
Andre Johnson, Valerie Murdoch, Amrita Mangal, Kimberla Malloy, Abimbola Jayasini, Fatma Kinnick, Jasmine Maldonado, Kimberly Herring, Devin Mora, Melinda Harinandam, Jamie Hugh, Michelle Murphy, Veronica Manu, Christine Hanneman, Muratu Otumana,
She's like, no one is going to cheer for me.
Brina Thomas, Robert Soto,
Jasper Rames, Tanisha Phillips, Karen Pinnock.
You got him though, didn't you?
Aldrina Osborne. Diana Ramfa. Leah and George. Rachel Levine. Kunwal Nagwi. Indrani Narain. Maria Oralfo. Fernando Pague.
Hey!
Donna Paz. Madon Pierre Louis. Osaki Omoruyi.
Yeah, Luna.
Kenyon Pickering. Isabel Sampol. Samlal Ramkisoon. Robert Klein.
He's like, I want to go up too.
William Lavelle. Virad Peters. Ronald Rosales.
That's just only too cute. He's like,
yeah. Andres Ortega. Shakila Ramjet.
Gotta be soggy as all hecky.
Liliana Endoka. Melissa Bulgarin.
We're not allowed.
He said, I'm through.
Regine D. Remy. Ruby Simpson. Stephen Saracini. Ebenezer Saki. Claudine Octave Henry. Denise Despradel Quayle.
Johnny.
Charlene Perno.
It's close.
Maria Romero Cornejo.
Yeah, Maria! It's party time, baby! Wait, on the other side?
Jesse Saji. Elizabeth Ramirez. Yamara Newman. Tamika Rose. Carmita Semanate. Greg Rakowski. Sharandeep Nanda. Reshamjit Singh. Luna Ramirez. Mirtha Sanchez. Natasha Stongster. Pierre Supreme.
Natasha's, I heard it here. I'm like, what? Hey, Charlie, I didn't even recognize you. You really look like a camera.
Shervin Sarup.
You look classy, too. Can I borrow some?
Jessica Puran. Rawati Ramkisoon.
No, I want you to.
May Yu.
You. It's for the yearbook. Look at the camera.
Gwendolyn Stoney. Nobert Ole. Glenn Rohde. Delia Rennig. Linda Smith-Zangen. Corkelita Somerville.
Excuse me. It's photographing right now? Yes.
Paola Para. Rosalind Phillip. Markella Ceres. Markella will also be accepting a degree as an administrative tech assistant, a school secretarial assistant as well, a certificate as well. William Shinnon. Johnny Negrito, Santiago.
Angel!
Miadudnai Peterside.
Don't run nobody over.
Selvin Reese. Rambaran Ramnarine. Kairul Shaman. Jeffrey Sherman. Aylin Perez.
Lynn, hold back that smile a little bit, will you? Not too much.
Seema Sandarutan. Tashima Pride. James Reed.
Chelsea! Is this alphabetical by sections or what?
Roberto Tobar.
How are they seated? Alphabetically? By sections?
Alphabetically.
Annie Torre.
The first group, my wife is in it. She should be right near the front. Alexander. And then I don't see her.
Alex Soy. Clara Valencia. Savitri Umdat. Vansky Valerie. Edgar Zephyrin. Tara Wade. Tasha Wells. Wing C. Wong. Craig Young. And Angel Valentine.
Hey, baby! He finally made it.
Let me see the second one.
The candidates for certificates are assembled, President Marti. These candidates have met all the requirements for their certificates. I am happy to present them to you, and I respectfully request that you grant them their certificates.
Upon the recommendation of the Vice President and the faculty of the college, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, I hereby grant you your certificates. Congratulations.
Patricia Israel.
Can they do their hands up or no? No.
Julia Atagaksen. Lynn Mathai. Angela Loyola. Stephen Bazario. Puma Zakaria, also receiving an associate in applied science.
Well, that's it. You've done it. You sat through almost 2 hours in the sun. You don't have to go to the beach tomorrow, but I can feel the parties in Queens tonight. Will the class of 2004 please stand? In recognition of the conferment of your degrees, please move your tassels from your cap from the right to the left. You're now official. Will the following students, you can sit down.
You want to throw them hands over there.
Will the following students join me at the podium, please? Yamit Nasiri, Shermin Rahman, and Farhana Begum. Are they coming?
Wait,
as you're coming to the podium, let me give you the last lesson that you're going to receive from Queensborough Community College. Remember, the horizon is not a limit, but an invitation. Pursue your dreams with the sense of responsibility that comes from understanding that every choice you make affects all of us. And as you move forward in your accomplishments, be sensitive to the needs of others, balance the taking with the giving, and be fair in your pursuit of happiness. And as the Spanish poet Antonio Machado said in his poem Caminos de Castilla, caminantes no hay caminos, caminos se hacen al andar. That means, traveler, there is no road. Roads are made as you walk. Students?
אין דרך למסעותיך ללא סלילת דרכך. That was in Hebrew.
यहाँ कोई रास्ता नहीं मुसाफिर, रास्ते बनते हैं जैसे तुम कदम उठाते हो. It was in Urdu.
ওহে পথচারীগণ, তোমারও জন্যই কোনো পথ নাই এখানে, আজই পথ সৃষ্টি হবে তোমার পদতলিতে. It was in Bengali. Thank you.
That was in Hebrew, in Urdu, and in Bengali. The class of 2004 tells you how old I am. Now we'll sing the alma mater, led by Gail Wolfe, a member of the Queensborough Chorus, and following the alma mater, the audience is requested to remain standing for the recessional, so that and for the audience to remain in their places until the recessional is completed. All the graduates, guests, and members of the faculty are invited to a reception following the ceremonies to be held under the trees on your left. Will Gail Wolfe lead us in the alma mater with the class of 2004 and the audience stand?
I want to say I was so proud as you marched up on the stage here. I had goose pimples. Okay, now let's go on with the singing. Far beyond Manhattan's fire stands a hilltop throne, where a queen, our alma mater,
you.